Hi, I'm Ian Thompson. This is one of a series of investing videos, and this one answers the question, how can I get started in investing if I have little or no cash?
Most people don't get started with becoming wealthy because they believe that they need a large amount of cash up front. Now I'm here to dispel that myth. Now if I were to ask you a question, and the question was, could you come up with $10,000 to $15,000 to be able to start an investment plan that would set you up financially within, say, 3 to 10 years, what would your answer be? Would it be, yes, sure, I could come up with that cash? Or would it be, no, sorry Ian, I can't come up with anywhere near as much as that? Well, if you were absolutely serious about becoming wealthy, and serious about becoming financially free and wanting to set yourself up with a great lifestyle, and were truly committed to taking the actions that were necessary, then this video might be able to help you. Because the goal of this video is to show you 8 different ways where you might be able to get started with $10,000 to $15,000 to start investing, so that one day you might be earning money while you sleep to replace your current income. So let's go through those 8 ways. Step 1 on the path to start you on becoming a millionaire is to save. Now it might not be what you want to hear, but all great investors are great savers, and if you're not saving money now, then you're never ever going to become wealthy. So start saving right now. Ideally you should be saving 10% of your gross income, but if that's too much to start off with, then save whatever you can now and build up to it gradually over time. So it's really, really important, step 1. Start saving something this week before you start thinking about step 2. Step 2 on the path to wealth is to sell something. Now when we got started, the thing that we sold first was my car. It was quite a nice car too. So it did take some persuasion from Liz that really was the best thing to do, but it was. So we sold the car, and that gave us some cash to get started with. So what could you sell to get started with? Could you have a garage sale? Have you got a car that you could cope without, or a boat, or some furniture or something? So what could you sell that could give you some cash to actually get started with? Step 3 is about paying less tax, and certainly I'm absolutely not talking about doing anything illegal here. What I would like you to do here is go and talk to your accountant, because what you can do will be very different to what other people can do, but you might be able to structure yourself differently. Maybe you can set yourself up as a consultant rather than employee, or get paid through a company, or defer some tax, or claim a tax rebate earlier, or put some expenses through that reduce your tax. There are heaps of different things that you could look at there, or that your accountant could look at with you. So go and talk to your accountant. There's often ways of being able to legally pay less tax. Now step 4 is all about increasing your income. And look, I could talk about this for hours because there's a lot in this topic, but don't worry, I'm not going to. All I want to do right now is offer 3 hints as to things that you might want to think about in terms of increasing your income. And the first one of those is that you could of course increase your income by going and getting a second income, be that a second job or a home-based business. So that's one way of increasing your income. Second way is possibly what you might be able to do is change the structure. So instead of being an employee, change yourself to becoming a consultant. And by doing that, you may be able to earn more money for doing pretty much the same as what you do right now. And the third approach that you might be able to take is, within your current employment, is to look at ways that you can add value, so you become more valuable to your employer. And there's a whole raft of different ideas or different things that you could do to be able to do that. But they're all around solving problems within your current company, or bringing products and services to market earlier, or being able to negotiate better. So there might be a number of different things that you could use to increase your value to your current employer. So there's just a hint of 3 different things that you could use to increase your income. Now step 5 is all about getting rich by using somebody else's money, which is maybe not quite as wacky as it sounds, because if you think about buying property, most people don't go out and buy a house for cash. Most people go along to a bank, which is somebody else, another person, and they use some of their money to help them to be able to buy the house. It's called a mortgage. So we're actually quite used to the idea of using other people's money in that sense. Other people maybe go out and get a personal loan in order to be able to start their investment funds. My friend Jamie McIntyre, he started by borrowing some cash off of his sister. So there's all sorts of different paths that people can go down. One person I know, she came across this property she wanted to buy, a fabulous property, bargain price, and she signed the contract to buy it, expecting to be able to get 100% loan from the bank. Unfortunately, when she went along to the bank, they said, no, sorry, can't give you 100% loan. So she ended up making up the difference by getting the cash out of her credit card. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that you start investing by using funds from your credit card. However, what she did was she went on to become very, very wealthy. She now owns a very large portfolio of property, so it did work for her. All I am suggesting is that you give some serious thought to, is there somewhere else that you can go and get funds from that's not just from your own pocket? And do the sums, work it out. If it's going to cost you to get that money, if you're going to have to pay interest on that money, work it out carefully and make sure it's going to work out well for you. But certainly don't rule out the idea of using other people's money to get started. Now step 6 is using equity. Now equity is the difference between the value of a property that you own and the mortgage that you've got on it. And for most people that own property, that equity can be, most of the time, sitting there pretty much doing nothing. So it can be a good way of finding some investment funds. So if you're in that situation, then you might want to go and talk to a good mortgage broker who could help you look at ways that you could be able to access that equity to start your investing. And step 7 is all about using somebody else's equity. Take your parents, for instance. Do they want to see you doing well in life? Because if they do, then maybe they'd be thrilled to bits to be able to help you get started by letting you have access to some of the equity that they've got in their property to help you start off with an investment fund. Okay, the last step, step 8, is accessing your superannuation fund or pension fund or 401k, whatever you call it where you are. Basically it's your retirement fund, and for many people it's sitting there doing not an awful lot. And look, there are very strict rules and regulations about what you can and can't do with these funds, so it's really, really important to go and talk to your accountant. But there may be ways that you can access that fund and be able to use it to start an investment fund. So go and talk to your accountant. Maybe there's a way that will work for you that could get you started with investing right now. Okay, so in this video I covered 8 steps that you can use to get you started on the path to becoming wealthy. That's saving, selling something, reducing your tax, increasing your income, using somebody else's money, using equity or somebody else's equity, and accessing your superannuation fund. Now if you're absolutely serious about becoming wealthy, then get started. Start working through these steps. Start becoming wealthy right now.